everybody. It's Professor Mulcahy. Those of you who are old friends from Nursing 317, welcome back. Those of you who are new friends from the weekend program, welcome aboard. You will find that your classmates are some of the very nicest people you will ever meet. And we want you to feel very welcome in this course. This is an online asynchronous course. Now, a lot of students complain when they take asynchronous courses, they don't get a lot of interaction with their instructor. You know, that's not how I am. So we'll discuss a few modifications we can make to make you feel a little bit more connection with me and with each other. But let's take a look at the course materials. I'm going to help you navigate. There will probably be a few more videos, but let's go through the syllabus first. So you go to the course syllabus page. Here's your home page. It has a calendar. It'll tell you what's coming up. Let's see what else is on there. Yeah, it gives you some things. So you'll see coming up for this week, you have an icebreaker activity, you have a week 1 discussion, and you have the Ed Puzzle week 1 lecture content. So I have chosen to upload our lecture content to Ed Puzzle. Ed Puzzle will break the videos into smaller videos, and it'll give you a chance to answer a couple of questions so that every 5 minutes or so, you'll get a break to pause and think about what you just learned. Now, the flip side of this is that you do have to watch the videos all the way to the end, and that counts as your course attendance. At least you have to play them, and you do have to answer the questions. And I will give you feedback on your answers if they're open-ended questions, and you'll probably get immediate feedback. I'm not sure how that all worked when I played it for myself last time. So here's your homepage. We can go through the syllabus, but I know you want to get started. So first, let's look at what's coming up this week. You have your icebreaker activity. Okay, so if you could fly to any country outside the United States right now, we're talking about global health. Where would you go? And what is it about that country that captured your interest? So that's your icebreaker activity. Nothing hard. Then we have a real discussion, and I will talk to you about the discussions because I think it's important to give you some options here. So you're going to review the introductory material and the information on sustainable development goals. There are a number. Let's go to that page. SDGs. There's a link to it. I have to check and make sure that link works for you. There are 17 sustainable development goals. And you're going to pick one. And they're all great goals. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, urgent work, decent work and employment, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, reduce inequalities, sustainable, all of these goals. These are all goals that work towards sustainable development so that there is equity among the people of the world. So all of these are important. What you're going to do for this discussion board is you're going to pick one that if you had a bunch of money to give to somebody, where do you think that money would make the biggest impact on global health and eliminate inequities? No wrong answers where it's just up for discussion. Now, you may choose to post in the discussion board asynchronously as long as it's in by Wednesday night. If you guys think you need a little extra time to review the materials, we can give you till Thursday. But I will also offer a Zoom session on Wednesday night, 7 to 9:30, where you can come and discuss with your classmates. We might not be there all the way till 9:30, but you're going to look at the Sustainable Development Goals. We're going to look at the poem, The Fence and the Ambulance, and we're going to think about social determinants of health and talk about why upstream thinking is important and why you've chosen the Sustainable Development Goal that you have. So that's our first discussion. So every week you'll have the choice between posting in the discussion board by midnight or 23:59 on Wednesday night, or coming to a live Zoom session where we can discuss things in a more personal way. That will be up to you. You do not have to do both, but you do have to reply to your peers. So if you come to the live session, look in the discussion board and reply to somebody who had a different point of view from your own. Okay, so let's go back home. The last activity, this is an important one. So your lecture content has been uploaded to Ed Puzzle. When you open it in assignments, it's going to look like that. Okay, and it's a little playlist. You'll see there's 3 videos. Each video has a couple of embedded questions. First video is, it was 13 minutes. With the questions, it becomes 16 minutes, 12 minutes. These are not long videos, and they are broken up. And so you're just going to go in. You can hit play. You can enlarge your screen. Let me scroll down for you if you want to enlarge it. If you need or want closed captioning, you can do that. Let's mute that though. Let's put that on pause. There is an option for closed captioning. You can do that, and it will give you subtitles. So you do have to watch the videos. You can't skip through them. You do have to answer the questions. And even though you don't get a point grade for this, it will count as attendance, because just like in a live classroom, if you don't listen to the lecture, if you leave the room and you're not in your classroom, you'll be marked absent or marked late, or somehow it will be noted that you did not attend the full lecture. So this is my way of making sure you get all of your content. I know online videos can be tough to get through. You're getting through this one right now, though, so I try not to make them painful. If you have feedback about them, let me know. But I would like to keep using Edpuzzle. I think it's a really good way to hold people accountable for viewing the content, and also for me to know, because I'll look at the answers to those questions and provide you feedback. If you're not sure, what a concept is, or you have a question for me, put it in the free text box, and I answer every single prompt. So that is this week's work. Now let's go to the syllabus page real quick. Okay. 423 BOL Spring 2024. This was titled Fall, but it had the right syllabus uploaded, so I just changed that. This is a 2-credit course, but you are taking it in 7 weeks instead of 15. So you can expect to spend about 4 hours a week on coursework. If you work smarter, not harder, then maybe not as many hours. But, budget that time. And if you get time left over, it's yours to spend however you want. Some information, of course, this is all standard. The big thing you want to watch here, January 11th is the last day to add or drop this course if you decide you are absolutely not committed to it. You do need it for graduation. You're all getting really close, but you can drop this course by January 11th. If you need to withdraw to avoid a failing grade, your last day for that is February 4th. That is a Sunday, just so you are aware. All of this stuff is standard. Now, this is my contact information. This is my office phone. I'm not on it a whole lot. So email is a really good way, and I do check my email a lot. I also have office hours. Now, sometimes these might change depending on faculty meetings that get scheduled. I have no control over that. If that happens, I'll post it in an announcement, let you know ahead of time. My office is on the second floor of McGuire Hall in 226, right next to Lorraine and Moya Waters. Wednesdays, 7:30 to 9. That will be our time. I'll have other office hours for other people. And you may make an appointment to see me whenever we both have a spare moment. So that's office hours. Description learning outcomes you can read on your own. We have some lofty goals for this class. The only required resource is the APA 7 manual. You do not have to buy it. You can get the resource on the Student Success Center page for free, absolutely free. But don't stop there. There are ways to work smarter and not harder. So I'm going to show you something. So let's say I want to go to the CASE website and I want to look for, I want to do a project on maternal mortality in Ghana. Ghana is my country of interest, and the thing that I want to research is this. So I search it in Case Library, and I get a whole bunch of hits. You already know how to do this. You guys are second degree and weekend students, I know. And I'm going to set my filters so that the text is available to me, because if it's not, I don't care about it. I'm not paying $30 to read an article, and I'm not waiting for a librarian to email me something. I want peer reviewed. That means it's credible, and I want in the past 5 years. So set my filters, and I come up with, I don't know what that means. I'm not worried about that. But I want to see this one, maybe. I want to know about this maternal mortality at this teaching hospital over the past 5 years. So I go under access options and I get my full text finder. Now, sometimes, oh, come on. I know this happens to me every time. Open the page in a new window. Yes, do that. All right. Well, I can't find that one. So let's go back. And you'll find that this can sometimes happen in the case library. Resources you think are available, you have to dig a little or ask a librarian for help. But I'll find another article. Predictors of maternal mortality in Ghana. Okay, let's look at that. Maybe that's of interest. Come on. There we go. Okay. So now I have this article. Sometimes you'll see a little thing that says citation help, and it'll cite it for you. If not, there's a really good way to do this. What I do is I go to the DOI number, and it usually starts with 10 point something. Okay. So I'm going to go to this. That's a unique identifier. I'm going to go to this app that I love called Scribber. I'm going to love this. And I can type in a web page, book, article, or a DOI number. In this case, I do the DOI number. Usually gets me stuff faster. And I get the article. Now watch. It's magic. Scroll, scroll, scroll. There is my APA citation, and it's perfect. Copy to clipboard. I want to paste it into a document. Sure, I could do this. I don't want to do the syllabus. But you get the idea. Work smarter, not harder. Sometimes you'll search for something in the case library and you'll see little quotation marks. And those quotation marks mean cite. And you click on that and it'll give you a list of formats. You click on APA 7, you'll get your citation. What I like about Scribber is you also get the in-text citation. So when you're actually writing your piece, your discussion board post, or your paper, or you're doing your warm call, and you want to have a sentence and you want to cite a source in that sentence, you can copy this little parenthetical citation, copy to clipboard, paste it right in. No fuss, no muss. You are good to go. You don't have to read the whole APA manual. You don't have to try and figure it out. You don't even have to go to Purdue OWL. You just go to the Scribber app. I will post a link to that. All right, back to the syllabus. The things we will do, discussions and papers and group assignments and all the things, and your video lectures. And you did see that little tutorial on Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is going to be the biggest thing because you're going to have to access your content. Now, sometimes you will have articles or web pages instead of my voice, or to supplement my voice, or always be something from me. But you might have some curated things. Now, going through the syllabus, this stuff, decide what is of interest to you. My best advice is to download the syllabus and delete any pages that look like clutter to you. We are required to include this information. I did not have a choice, and we are required to place it right up front where it is of no interest to most people. I apologize, not my choice. But you might want to cut everything from that cover page and my contact info and all of that right to weekly modules and topics, because that's what you really care about. When are we learning stuff? When are things due? I will have a calendar posted. There's also the calendar in Canvas. I prefer that you use that so there's never a discrepancy. Okay. So these are the topics that we'll cover in modules 1 through 7. We only get 7. Here's how things are weighted. So weekly assignments, your discussion boards, and they're not painful discussion boards. And as I said, you can come to the live discussion instead of posting in the discussion board. You would just have to make 1 or 2 replies then, maybe. They are worth 40% of your grade, and that's just keeping up. Weekly warm call, the warm call, that's a current event assignment. I will cover that in a separate video. I am not super picky about PechaKucha format. What I want is brief. I want highlights. I want it like if you were to deliver a 7-minute or less news story on a current event that impacts global health, that's what I want. Okay, and you're going to work in groups of 2 or 3. I went into Canvas. I randomly assigned you. The first name on the list is the leader. They are due as assigned to your group. So every week someone's going to lead us off into the new frontier with a news story. Now, what are some resources I can use for that? Where am I going to find a news story? Here's my favorite one. NPR has a site called Goats and Soda. You will also get a link to that. You also have access to the New York Times and the Philadelphia Inquirer. New York Times a lot of times runs great stories. You can go on the World Health Organization Twitter page or X page. Those are all places where you can get that, or you can simply type into a search engine of your choice. They usually have a little thing in the taskbar for news stories, global health, international health, whatever it is. But Goats and Soda is a great one. I really love it. What you're looking for is something that's been posted within the last 2 to 3 weeks. And it gives you like treatment for acute sleeping sickness. That's a neglected tropical disease. 6 countries knocked out neglected diseases in 2023. That's a great news story. And there might be other things. Maybe you're interested in a particular news item that you've been following and you want to do, like I said, go into your search engine. Let's do Google. Prefer Google. And I'm going to go into news about Hamas and public health. Okay. Public health implications of the Israel-Hamas war. Okay. And you've got a news story. Now, this one's November 3rd. So maybe you want to look for something a little more current. But that's half the fun, is looking for something that's of interest to you. This is the American Public Health Association. There's some news releases. See what they have. But you're going to work and you're going to present to the class. And when I say like no more than 7 minutes, I mean it. And if it's 4 or 5, that's okay. But hit the highlights and hit all the things in the instructions. But you can look for a news story if you need help. If you get stuck, you're like, I don't know, I can't find anything. I am constantly reading the news on global health, so I can help you, guide you with that. But you are going to come up with the project on your own. We have the global burden of disease paper is divided into 3 parts. In week 3, you will submit an outline. This is not a fancy outline. This is not going to include a lot of information. It's going to be basically the outline of the rubric with a few specific details about which country you chose and which issues create the biggest burden of disease from death and DALY. DALY is disability adjusted life years. That's week 2's topic. I'm giving it to you nice and early so you can complete these projects. So week 3, you will give me an outline and you will show me on the outline which group member is doing what. It's only 2 or 3 of you in a group, but you're going to divide equally. The next assignment, also worth 3%, is going to be your annotated bibliography, at least 3 sources, published within the last 5 years, peer-reviewed, scholarly. And I have a whole set of instructions for that. And there's a place on Scribr that will help you format that. And then your big paper. The big paper is really not that big, guys. It's like 5 to 6 pages at the most, but I'm not being real picky about paper length. What I am being picky about is the rubric. And I do want you to use APA format. I want you to be good about it because as nurses, people are going to trust you to be reliable sources of information. I need to find out where you got it so I can critically appraise it myself. That is worth 24% of your grade. I'm not the strictest grader in the world, but I do insist that you follow the rubric. Final reflection on professional growth and core values. This is really not an APA paper so much as it is the story of what you learned in 7 weeks with me. There is a rubric for it, and it's based on the depth of reflection, which basically means, did you just narrate the first week we did this and the second week we did that? Or did you go a little bit further and say, I really felt bad for being such a privileged American? Or did you go further than that and say, I really feel like I transformed myself in my attitudes about social determinants of health and which healthcare problems I think are important and how I view migrant health. And maybe you go there, or maybe you even go a little bit further. The furthest you can go is to say, this assignment helped me realize this and that assignment. So you're learning how you learn and which things in this course helped you do that. But it is your reflection. You do what you want with it. Again, I'm not a strict grader with assignments like that. You have, I guess we'll have to include the role of the travel nurse. There's your grading system. It is the same grading system for every nursing class in the curriculum. You must get at least 78%. It is hard not to get 78% in this course. But you could do it if you just didn't hand things in. You'll notice that on the due dates, I usually have an included grace period so that if 2359 comes and you're almost ready to submit, you can't get there, it won't close for another couple of days. If you need an extension, you let me know and I will extend it for you. But try to stay on topic or on track with your assignments. This course moves very quickly and you have 419. And by the time this course is over, you're going to be starting leadership. You're going to be going to 60 or 90 questions. You don't have time to fall behind. Just budget the time. None of it's hard. None of it should take you that much time. Okay. So for this week, somebody emailed me and said the link to SDGs doesn't work. I'm going to test it for you now. Let's go in the module. And if it doesn't, I will fix it off camera. I will not make you sit and watch me painfully do that. Oh, yeah, there's your welcome survey. Please do the welcome survey. Please, please, please. I want to see where everybody's at. It's been a little bit. So week 1, I'm giving you the instructor view. It's class materials. In addition to those videos, you're going to go in here. How many countries in the world can you name is optional. But let's go to what are sustainable development goals. And you get a little video. Of course, I'm going to get an ad. Sorry if this is taking too long, but I miss you guys. That gives you a 2-minute and 12-second video on what sustainable development is. And then you can go, there's some success stories. We have been successful with some of the things in the sustainable development. This is a report. Fence in the Ambulance poem. This is a great poem. It will take you all of 2 minutes to read, and it's very inspiring. Please do that before your discussion board post because you'll need that. Extra resources that might help. You don't really need them. Upstream thinking, but they might help you in community health as well and social determinants of health. And then we have our week 1. Do not worry about this warm call sign up sheet. I already signed you up, but you do have instructions. It says fall 2023. They really didn't change. So there you go. All right, guys, I have taken up a lot of your time and I don't want to do that, but I did miss you and I wanted to put a little personal touch on this. Please feel free to reach out to me with anything you want. I am always available to you. All right, I will see you soon.